for a good story. Sometimes you gotta have a good story. Sometimes you make mistakes. Look at like 90 Day Fiance, bro. Constantly, just constant,
Bro,
just like. I mean, look, if Big Ed
the goat,
can,
the
No.
goat.
he's the goat. You know what I'm saying?
Fat.
He, Big Ed just does what Big Ed does, and it's entertainment. Yes, he's a stain on society, but hey, if we didn't have this, who would do it? Someone gotta do it. Welcome to the Unsolicited Counseling Podcast. We're your hosts. Back at it again. I'm your boy Jermaine.
This is Martin.
And I'm Catherine.
And today, oh what a good day it is. So today we're gonna have a special treat for you guys. So we did the seasonal, like not season, mid-year update about like our goals, aspirations, where we at with our New Year's resolution, yada yada yada. So this time we're gonna do something similar because we early in the year and like towards the end of last year we talked about dating and stuff. So this time we're gonna bring up. I don't know if we're gonna do a series. We'll see how it goes, but we're gonna
We're
talk
doing a
about
series. We're going to do a series. This deserves a
dating.
series because there's so many questions that I have to ask of you single people that I can't get it all in one episode. It's impossible.
Yeah,
And I'm sure our listeners want to know what's going on. I'm sure that other people have similar situations they're going through in their dating lives, and they're just trying to piece together what's normal, what's not normal. Are they good enough? Are they unattainable? Are the standards too high? Like, there's so much nuance when it comes to dating. And this is what these episodes going to be about. We're going to get into dating lives, things that how I guess what shaped you into who you are as it pertains to dating. But what we do before we get into all that is how you doing, Catherine? How are you doing today?
Uh, Today's been a slow day. I started the day out deciding that our like thermostat upstairs, the air conditioning's been running, but the thermostat is blank. And
Mm.
so someone told me you just need to put a battery in it. So I took it off. Yeah. Well, fun fact, it's hardwired. Long story
oh,
short, it's back on the wall. It is still running, but somehow the heat is running instead of the cold air. So upstairs is about 110 degrees with the sun shining in right
yikes!
now.
I was like, I know you're at the beach, but you're not wearing as much clothes as you usually do for our pod. So now it makes sense. I was like, oh, she's
Yeah.
giving our viewers a show here, but
Yeah, I figured it goes hand in hand with the dating episode, but I'm good, feeling motivated and a little warm. How are you, Jermaine?
I'm doing good. Today was today was a long day. I mean, actually, this past couple of weeks have been pretty bit weeks days have been pretty busy. But I had a bit of a scare today because I'm going on my trip to Cancun next week and on my vacation and all this like COVID like Aegis Eris, what is it? Idris Elba, COVID
oh,
variant,
the new COVID variant.
COVID variant, Idris Elba.
I don't know,
Um,
Iona, something like that. I don't know.
yeah, Ayana.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
black. It's a
Shaniqua,
black ass
Letitia,
COVID name. Lakeisha.
Don
so,
LaShawn.
so since this COVID thing's going around, my coworker mom had COVID. One of my friends' boss got COVID and whatever. So last night I woke up like coughing, right? Like woke me out of my sleep, so coughing, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Like I never felt this cough before. So I immediately got water and stuff like that, still coughing. I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" So I ended up taking NyQuil, knocked my ass out. It was some old ass NyQuil, so nice and fermented NyQuil, ready to go. All right, ready to go. I took some, knocked out. The next day, so this morning, I went, got my COVID test, um, and COVID free, still COVID free since 2023. Like I'm puke free since 2023. So I'm good. I'm good to go because I will be damned if I can't go on my fucking Mexico trip because of COVID. So I'm telling everybody in my job, I was like, if you're feeling sick, stay away from me.
I don't think
Because
that they test for COVID before you travel internationally anymore.
well, it's more for me being a good citizen of the world. You
Why?
know, I mean, good point. But so other
Why
than
are you
that,
being a pick me with society? society don't give a shit about you and it always beats you down. Sorry, I'm being negative.
All right,
I'm
man, you
bringing in a
coming
lot of
out.
energy, a lot of hostility. Sorry, go ahead.
This ended. Look, man, that weekend kind of caused you some hostility. Anyway, so other than that, work has been good. Life has been good. Like still being in the moment, still being present. Yeah, everything's going good. Spanish improving, mentorship's good. Everything's good. I'm good. I'm happy. Just tired all the damn time. But I think it's because I be playing video games till like 12 now, so I need to get back on my sleep schedule. Anyways,
That'll
how you
do it.
doing, bro?
For the most part, I'm doing pretty well. I mean, work life has slowed down, so I don't have a lot going on. It's kind of like passion projects at work right now, which is kind of nice. However, it seems like anything I get something across the finish line, it gets sent back for like false start or revisions or delays. So getting a lot of coaching or learning opportunities based on some coaching notes that I'm receiving on my work, which, as you spoke to past episodes, handling criticism is something that we need to be better at. And I'm learning more and more that I suck at it. I suck at handling criticism. um, but, some of the criticism is valid. So I'm like, okay, let me fix this. Let me make these changes, yada, yada, yada. Aside from that, I'm still running. Haven't stopped running. Always going to run. Still that runner.
Hey, yo, you on that Forrest Gump status right now, bro?
Bro, all I want to do is run. Like my life is centered around my running now, which is bad. Like it should be centered around my family, friends, relationships. No, 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 no. No, it's about my running. Like I literally go to bed thinking, all right, what time can I go for a run tomorrow? And how long of a run can I do without getting in trouble at work? Like this is like how I have to plan my day because without my run, I am miserable. Like I need to get some form of activity in to start my day, or the rest of the day is a wash, and it's going to be unproductive, and I'm going to be sad, sad boy hours. Um, but yeah, so running is going well, work is going well, relationship is thriving. We actually are about to go see my nephew in a couple of minutes. We'll keep going. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll keep going until we're finished. We won't rush this episode because we know our listeners want to hear about dating apps and not about my relationship because I am the married man of the group here. And in this situation, that is not a privilege. So, like I always say, life's good, wife's good, and let's talk about what we're drinking today. And since I'm already talking, I'll just take the mic here. So we got two Bevy Wiley today. So this one is my caffeine mixed drink. I'm drinking caffeine at 5:30 because I need energy for the podcast. I'm just gonna deal with not sleeping tonight.
Yeah, there you go.
It's kind of my running fuel. I usually have it in the morning. It is like a yuzu pineapple flavored liquid IV caffeine plus. It's really good. I recommend it. This is a 9 out of 10. If you want to have a perk before you run, I suggest mixing this liquid IV with the lemon lime one for electrolytes. Gives you energy. Gonna have make you run longer. You're gonna feel healthier, but you're also gonna have to take a shit mid run. So plan accordingly. Then the next one I have, because back in the day, I always used to drink Arizona iced tea. I used to go to the China sub shop, get an Arizona iced tea because the price is on the can.
Is
Say
that
what
still
you
the
want
same
about
price?
inflation, say what you want about everything else, but Arizona iced tea is consistent. This is the true consistent beverage of life. It is 99 cents no matter where you go. You can't upcharge it because the price is on the can. Like you can't tell me, oh yeah, that's gonna be 250. Nah, bro.
99
99
cent.
cents.
Honestly,
99 cents.
good ethic marketing. I appreciate that.
Right. After all these years, Arizona stayed true to their packaging. I don't know if the dude was just lazy to change the number or he's like, nah, we built the brand off 99 cents. We're going to keep it that way. But yeah, so we got my green tea, ginseng, and honey Arizona iced tea. Got my caffeine for you guys, and that's it. I'll crack it open once we start drinking. So,
All right.
what do you got, Jermaine?
All right. So I'm still going Old Faithful until I get to Cancun, where it's going to be probably mostly beer and tequila. So I'm drinking gin and tonic. Still using the aviation gin. Just solid. Just solid. I know, bro. I know. I
One
know, bro.
day.
Struggle. Still solid. Gin is like one of my favorite like spirits. So again, 9 out of 10. shit, I used to say 10 out of 10. I love G&Ts. Actually, your boy Martin put me on it because I was a whiskey sour or amaretto sour dude. Because I was like, oh man, I want that. I want
Tell
that.
me you're a basic white girl when I'm
Oh,
telling
I
you
was,
you're a
bro.
basic.
Straight up. Amaretto
Oh, you know
sour.
pumpkin spice is back.
Hey, yo, pumpkin spice. Look, I'm going to be all about that. They got pumpkin spice donuts at Krispy Kreme. Anyways, so, 9 out of 10, gin and tonic, Old Faithful, never fails. What you drinking, Captain?
Oh my gosh, so many good things for your like what is it, dating app byline?
That's what I'm building. That's what I'm building.
I am trying another local gin, Mother Earth Spirits from here in North Carolina.
Oh,
So, yeah.
We're gonna write that one down. Mother Earth.
Mother
Yeah,
Earth gin.
this one's really good. The label says notes of peppercorn, citrus, juniper. Yeah,
Mm.
it's really nice. It's not too hot. It's refreshing. Yeah, I'll give it 9 out of 10
9 out of
You
10. Are you
know,
drinking it straight?
with an ice cube.
You built
on the
different.
rocks. On the rocks. The only way to drink gin if you're a psychopath. Anyway.
And that's my dating app byline.
Yes.
Drink gin. Swipe left, swipe left, swipe left. Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, we have a great episode. As Catherine alluded to, we will be talking about dating life. And, I feel like I'm in a weird spot here. So I'm going to be like the mediator, the moderator, however you want to call me. I just want to see what you guys going on. So let's just starting right now. Explain your dating situation. Are you looking? Are you not looking? Are you just beaten up? I'll start with you, Jermaine. Where are you at?
All right, so I guess like I'm in the camp of looking, but looking with a purpose. Right before, like back in the day when I was like dating and stuff like that. All right, this is counseling. Yeah, there we go. This is counseling. This is the counseling part. Back in the day before I would be like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna date the date, whatever. And now I have like, purpose where like I want a family, I want to get married, etc., etc. I know what I want now, so I'm putting that intentions out there. So I guess looking or like dating with a purpose. How about you, Catherine?
Yeah, I was going to preface this episode earlier by saying, be nice to me on this
Okay.
one.
Okay, let me
Uh,
make sure I add that.
Put in big
Be
bold
nice.
letters.
Talk to me nice. Got it.
uh, yeah, that's a great question. Still trying to sort out exactly where I am, I guess, on figuring things out. Right now, the like prospect of dating scares the. Can we say shit on this podcast?
Yeah, you can cuss as
Yeah.
much. We're on
Okay.
explicit. You can say shit, fuck, bitch. Like you
I
can say
just gotta
whatever you
check. I
want.
just gotta check a box on YouTube saying that this will have
Okay.
explicit words in it. So it's fine.
Well, it scares the shit out
Not
of
for
me.
kids.
Right.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I am right now, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Jermaine, I'm gonna turn to you really quickly.
Okay.
You mentioned that you're looking for a purpose. You're looking with a purpose.
Yeah, look at
You
my
have a
person.
purpose. Your purpose is your life, but you're looking to find someone that has similar, I'm guessing, similar goals and aspirations to you. So, can you expound on how you're going about that search?
So I'm going about that search. All right. So I was talking to Jamie and talking to a couple other friends about just dating in general in 2023. Talking about like their friends or their experiences. So how I'm going about it is like before I was just like I don't know if the right word is like I guess thirsty. Like I was just about like just whatever go whatever happened, going for whatever was throwing my way, I was going for it, right? And now it's like how I'm going about that is instead of leaning heavily on the apps personally. Yeah, you didn't even open that.
I know.
um
I thought we were all going to drink at the same time, but we kind
oh
of just went
yeah.
into the episode. Sorry about that.
Not leaning on the apps all the time because I remember in the beginning we were talking about like a couple like episodes ago, like a lot, like last season, we talked about like the use of apps. Like, are you using it mainly? Is it a tool or whatever? So now I'm trying a different avenue because I felt like with apps, I wasn't finding the type of women I wanted to be with long term. Like, I found women that I could have fun with, date. You know, like if you're like you want to go out, do the thing, meet new people, sleep around, whatever. If that's what you want to do,
Go to
great.
iFly.
Yeah, go to iFly, get the cheeks, and so, but in that, like after my last relationship, I knew I wanted to like settle down. Before I didn't know, and this is like through therapy and shit like that, that I really knew like had to figure out what I really wanted because I didn't know what I wanted. I was kind of just like, she's cute, she's cute, she's cute. I didn't know like what I wanted out of a partner. And now I have a vision of what I want out of a partner. So I'm going and doing things that I like to do. I'm going to enjoy things like with my friends and family or whatever. And if I find that person in that, I'm doing grassroots. That's what I'm doing. I'm not doing the date. I'm going back to like old school throwback like my daddy did. Just go out in the world. If I find someone, I meet them, ask them, talk them up. If they want to talk to me, cool. If not, that's also cool. But it's not like shotgun like it used to be. Now it's more like targeted. I want to like actually meet someone that I want to build a life with. So that's how I'm going about it. How about you,
Okay.
Catherine? Oh
Hold on.
yeah, no, you're the
Before
moderator. I'm not the moderator.
yeah, let me do my job, sir. And I
Let him
just want to
cook.
say thank you for let me cook. Let Russ cook. Thank you for your response. I did have a couple follow-up questions on some of the things you said. You know, in the light of the Republican debate coming up later tonight, I just wanted to make sure everyone is aware that Trump will not be there. So it'll be a more civilized type of debate going on, kind of like what we're doing here.
All right.
But we're not debating
I
anything. We're
told
just
you
talking about
about
life.
that.
Catherine, please abstain from speaking until spoken to.
Oh my
Um,
Oh God.
so no, no, you
I
mentioned.
rescind my comment about you being the moderator.
So Jermaine, you mentioned that in the past you were just going off of like surface level stuff, like oh she looks cute. You weren't looking any deeper than that. It was just like, hey, I'm going to swipe off of look. So it didn't matter about the content of her character, anything she liked, and I know that in the past it's got you wrapped up with people who might not be seen as not racist. Um, do you feel like you're taking steps to prevent that from happening again? I know that I've noticed in your personal life that you've been going out to do things like going to see Ali Wong, like you referenced in the last episode. Like you've been going to some cons. Do you think that you're going to find your potential future lover at these events? Because I don't think you're going to meet them at a family reunion, because then you'd be like, I don't know, weird to meet a family member. I mean, we don't sleep with cousins, at least not in Maryland.
Nah, nah,
West
not in the
Virginia is
Virginia
kind of down the
either. You
street,
go a
though.
little
So.
west, you might find something over there. But
But yeah, so do you feel like the steps you're taking are going to eventually show promise and lead to the potential type of relationship that you want?
yeah, I mean, I feel like because it made me really think about during this time, like being like single and like taking time, like healing myself or like knowing who I am. It really made me think about like when we were in college, right? Like we just did things. You know, we did things that we enjoyed doing, and so that energy, like your energy, I hate energy, but you know what I'm saying, like because it's woo woo
Vibes,
shit.
man.
And yeah, the artist, but it's what you put out, right? If you're like desperate, you're putting out desperation. People can see that a mile away. I can see it a mile away. You can see it, Catherine. You can see it a mile away when someone's being desperate. So, but when you put yourself in the things that you love to do or enjoy to do, you're gonna find like-minded people. Like when I went to the Ali Wan show, I ran into people from work that like I kind of like talked to like here and there and stuff like that. And from that, like when I see them now at work, because I met them there, we like gotten stronger. Like our relationship just automatically got stronger because you found something like minded and stuff like you're doing, right? So I
Right.
feel like when you do those things, it just brings that energy because not you're not going out being like, yo, I'm going to this place for the sole purpose of getting some ass, right? No, it's like I'm going to go there and do it. Or you go to a bar and that's that environment. You gotta see what the environment's like. So for me, I think me doing the things that I enjoy doing and maybe use the app as a tool because I didn't think you could use the app as a tool. I thought it was like because in our generation, I thought that this is the only way to find someone is through the phone. Like all social communication, like in the real world, is like a no. Like it's only through the phone. But now I have a better understanding of I'm doing what I want to do. If I find you cute, I'm gonna talk to you. If you got a man, cool, we can be friends. And then I got another friend, and then she can find me someone else that she does, or I find that group.
That's another podcast episode that I want to talk about. Female friends, friends, male and females being friends, and the woman is married, but not disclosing that information until you buy her a couple drinks. We're going to talk about that another time. I want to turn the attention over to Catherine. So you mentioned that you're currently unsure what you're doing. You're not looking. You're not looking. You're kind of in like this weird space. So, can you kind of speak to what has gotten you to this point in your life to where you're unsure? I noticed that a lot of women are kind of in this, not a lot of women, but a lot of people are kind of in this, oh, I don't know if I should date. Is it like a fear of rejection? Is it a fear of not being loved, not being wanted? Like, where does this stem from?
Uh, wow, that's a really deep question.
Yeah, get me softballs.
Yeah, really.
Don't worry, they're coming
Uh,
back around. They're coming back around.
no, about a year ago, my last relationship ended, almost coming up on a year. And with that relationship, I really thought that was like my person, the one, the long term, like genuinely felt that even after it ended. So I've just been figuring out exactly like what happened there and who I am. And honestly, the pain of going through that is just something that, like, I don't know that I really want to risk that again. I really, yeah, lost
So
myself
what?
there for a little bit. So,
Yeah, and going through a breakup is definitely hard, and I'm definitely there with you. I've been through many breakups in my life, so I know what that's like. You mentioned that you're trying to figure out who you are at this point in your life. So, what steps are you taking, or because some of our listeners take as well, to try to help figure out who they are in the midst of a breakup?
yeah. Uh, let's see, I've done a lot of traveling, a lot of things that I just, I don't know, like my little tagline for a long time has just been everybody's on the search for happiness, right? So just like
Mm.
finding, yeah. And that's the end goal of a relationship too. It's like you're just looking to be happy when you boil it down. Um, so just figuring out kind of, I guess that if you look at like what Jermaine was saying too, I'm like one step behind him. Like I'm figuring out the things that make me happy so then I can start to do them. Um, yeah.
Well, if you were listening to our last episode, we referenced comparisons and how we shouldn't be comparing our progress against someone else's progress. So being one step behind means that you're right on pace with what you're supposed to be. You're where you need to be right now in your life, and Jermaine's where he needs to be in his life. We don't
Oh yeah.
compare lives in general. But I know that wasn't your intent. I'm just, making an observation and plugging the pod again. Um,
Go back and listen to the last episode.
Using my
uh,
pain to plug the pot.
Well, no, now I want to shift the pain
Yeah,
over to
I'm kidding.
Jermaine a little bit because earlier today you sent us a YouTube video for us to watch, and it's about dating apps and how women tend to have more success in getting matches in dating apps, whereas men don't really see that much attention or receive that much attention. So I know we had a prior episode back in season one before we called them seasons about dating apps. And you were speaking on your experience during that, where you're saying you weren't finding quality matches, or the women were truck, or whatever word you use to describe the women that you've met on these, or that you've seen on these sites.
Hmm.
Do you feel like the video was accurate in what they portrayed dating life to be for a male?
I
And we will plug the video as part of the description in the bio so that everyone can watch and get an idea what we're referencing.
based on that sample size, which I like the fact that it was such a semi small sample size, so you can see the percentage versus like the mass Olsen, because you could say like, Oh well, I'm in this I or whatever. I'm in this demographic or this metric or whatever, and I don't have this issue, right? So and then there's other layers to it, like race, age, body type, whatever, like people's perspective. But for me, I noticed like on the apps, and I talked to Jamie about this. He's been on more of the apps. He's tried more of the apps than I have. I've only tried like Tinder, which was like you when you were out there, before you met your wife. You were on Tinder. You were finding fairly success. I did not, and so I did. Oh, like Tinder, Coffee Meets Bagel, Hinge. Oh, okay, Cupid. While Jamie used like he all those plus Bumble and there was another one he did, but he was telling we were talking about it. He was saying that they bait you in because it's a company, right? They bait you in. I don't know from. I would love to hear from a female perspective. I don't know if you've been on the apps, Catherine, but from the guy perspective, like they bait you in with like, oh, these are the likes you have, and it's like I don't know if it's Google algorithm, AI, whatever, like old school AI or something, but it shows exactly the type of person you want to be with. With variants, but majority of the time it's like the exact type of person you want to be with, like your vision of what a partner would be for like a day or two. And then they're like, oh, okay, well, we got him. Either we ask you like, hey, you already used your swipes on this free trial with his, which you didn't join a free trial. They were like, hey, spend more money to see the people that liked you. I'm sure it'll be the ones like because you'll see like at least for OkCupid, you'll see the
It's
photos
like
of
a
the
faded image of the person.
yeah of the people that like you, and it's normally the ones that you saw up front, all right? And if you match with, you'll match with like one or two, and then you'll be like, oh, message hit or miss, right? And then you're like, well, I got a whole bunch of likes. It shows me this artificial number of like you have 50 plus likes. They probably just told you that just like to get you to pay because they're like, hey, you can see the likes if you do it. So based on that video and about like the amount of people, like there's more men on the apps than women, at least from what I've spoken to, from the people I've spoken to, at least in my life. Um, that does seem inflated, and also women have and you can I would love to hear your thoughts on it, Catherine. That's what I want to talk about is like women have different like what they look for in photos, and also let's be honest, men don't know how to take photos, men don't know how to do shit, like
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
we're like
whoa, whoa! Did you
cavemen.
not hold a bass in your picture?
What I mean, look, for real, those like
The
old
fish
cave
picture?
paintings, like the Flintstones had it down pat. That's what man's like. He's like, I beat you on the head, I drag you, you wife now. It's, it's very caveman logic. We're just like, hey, this photo look, it can be out of focus. People don't know how to dress. Like they like, oh, I like
Okay,
this activity. This gonna be hot for a woman, right? I got my big mouth bass. I do the top 10. You got big mouth bass. You doing rock climbing. You in a group with your friends where they don't know who it is, and then and then you're and all of them are fucking blurry. So but with a woman's, you see at least for me, you see like their nice photos mostly are just like them doing things or not even doing things, them just posing for like a selfie, and then you got the angles. The
Yes.
angles. But so I agree with the video to an extent. I do feel like it's like there's some variance, but I do believe like yeah, it is more percentage, and women get a lot more likes than men, and it's because men can just most men just be like, I'm just trying to see. I remember we played that game a long time ago. We were just like, hey yo, this shit sucks. Fix the algorithm, and you're just constantly swiping right.
Okay, wait. I do want to hear Catherine's thoughts on dating apps in general. Have you been on the apps and what's your experience was like?
hold on. I just can I moderator, may I please respond to
Oh no,
I'll allow it.
please.
I'll allow it.
because I was like sitting on my hands trying not to say something.
I
Uh,
know.
but what do you think it's like being out in the real world? What you just described is exactly what, at least in my experience, what it's been like in the real world, like trying to date. Like guys just show up and they expect that if they talk to you that you're gonna like swipe left immediately. They don't have to do anything. They just like, oh, it's the worst.
Oh no,
They
please.
expect you to
Can
swipe
you please
right
add
or
on that?
left. Isn't right good and left bad?
Right is good, left is bad.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. So to answer your question, I'm not on dating apps right now because like even just what I've seen in the real world. So what I'm thinking of very recently, I was out with a big group of friends for karaoke night. It was very, very fun. We're all just like having fun together. I was the DD, so I wasn't drinking. And this one person comes up that was like obviously very intoxicated and is just like, I don't know, trying way too hard. His one line was like, "You have a lot more going for you than what you're putting out there." And like,
What? That's a
yeah.
Bro, gas.
that
Oh,
made
That
me
is the
cringe.
best line. I'm writing that one down.
yeah, right.
That gave me the ick.
Right. And I was like, "So this is what you're coming out the door with?" And he was like, "If I were your man, like," he was like, "Which one of these guys is your boyfriend?" I was like, "Oh, he's at the bar getting us drinks."
Oh, smoke screen, smoke screen.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it did not deter him. Towards the end of the night, he was very, very drunk. He actually punched me in the boob. I said, ow. And he punched me a second time and said that didn't hurt. And then I had him kicked out of the bar.
That's assault. I'm not laughing. That's assault. That's
That
assault.
is
Yeah,
assault. He
no,
assaulted you. And he
it
was
was
like, "You all right?"
awful. Yeah,
Was
it
he
was
a part of the
awful.
group?
No, no, no. I think it was a tourist.
Mm. So that's
Um,
interesting. I'm sorry I'm using your moderator, Jay, but I
No,
found
go
that
ahead.
interesting that it's similarities when it comes to the real world and the apps, right? Where it's like they show up and they're just like, "Oh, I talked to you. You should then reciprocate because I'm talking to you."
right. I like your angles, so I can do the bare minimum here.
Well, so the way that I perceive women dating, and I think the video touched on this as well, is that, and I've heard a lot of my female friends say that guys are shit. I think that the guys that some of the guys who are approaching them in like these club scenes or in public, especially in drunken environments, they tend to be kind of douchey or like putting them down, and it's not really in a, oh, I'm flirting with you. Like I do remember when we were out in DC, we went to Flash DC, and a guy walked up to you, Catherine, and he was just like, "Damn, you should smile more. Hey, you should smile more," or
I
something along those
remember
lines.
that.
And I was just like, "Hey, you know what? She should smile." I was like, "She doesn't like she's having fun at all. He's right." Meanwhile, Catherine is like fuming over there, and I had to like talk to her and calm her down a little bit. But the guy definitely didn't approach the woman the right way. So I'm going to use this as an opportunity to put Jermaine on game. How should a man approach a woman
How should
if
a
he
man
like
approach
sees
a woman?
her and he's like interested and he's
All right.
had a
So as
couple amaretto sours?
with an amaretto, all right. So as someone that's very nervous in the real world when I don't have like any like what's the word like connection or like base level connect like going in cold, right? The cold word of being a pickup artist. We go cold read. But you basically don't have a connection with them, right? If I was a dude, one I wouldn't do a pickup line. You, as my dad would say.
Wait,
My
wait,
dad
I
told
must
me
pause.
this.
I must pause. I must pause. You are a dude, Jermaine. That is a fact.
I said as a dude.
No, you said if I was a dude.
I said as a okay, all right, fine. As a
As a,
man,
there we go. Okay.
if I was a man,
You
hey,
know
first
what?
of all,
Pause
you're not
again.
gonna
Pause
shame me.
again. Pause again. I have another question. This is off the record, but on the podcast. So, if you were approached by a transgender woman, Jermaine, I'll put you on the spot first, and looks like a female, everything about them is female, got the surgeries, got the work done, and they informed you that they were transgender, but everything else is like in your wheelhouse. Would you say yes or no?
Look, brother, I'm gonna plead the fifth. I ain't gonna say shit about this. It's
It's
too,
it's it's okay to answer how you feel. There's nothing wrong with being honest. I think I know the answer for you is no.
yes,
I know
it's
the
no.
answer, and I know part of the reason that is because you want a family and you want to give birth to have your own kid as opposed to adoption?
Yes.
So I know your answer. So, Catherine, transgender male? That's your type, right?
Yes.
Wait.
Yes,
Yes,
you're
transgender
transgender
male.
now.
Transgender male shoots his shot at you. Is that a deal breaker for you, yay or nay? Because I don't know if I want to put that out. Actually, I'll just ask the question. Yay or nay? Is that a deal breaker?
I didn't sign up for this portion of the podcast.
Why are we so afraid of being canceled? This
Big
is just a
people, look, man, they
sidebar
coming after
question.
us, bro. I mean, I
Who's
miss the
coming after
'90s
you?
sometime.
Listen, I'll get canceled first. It is not transphobic to not want to be with a trans person.
It is not transphobic. That's my opinion.
That's it. All right, I got canceled for everybody else.
That's my opinion. I don't think it's transphobic if you don't want to date a trans person.
Yeah, it's just like
That's
it's
my
not
opinion.
race.
I
I don't
could
think it's
be wrong.
racist. I don't think it's racist if, as a white person, you don't want to date a black guy. It's just not your type. It's not because you're black. It's just, well, I guess it is kind of, but it's not like I don't think you should have right to respect. I'm just not into that. Right?
I agree with that statement.
Okay. All right, we're fair. All right, and going back to the topic
All
at
right, we're gonna go
hand,
back to this.
Catherine, if you were dating a transgender,
Oh wait. What was the question? I feel like we got
Dude,
off the
no,
question.
no.
I
Okay,
feel like it.
me approaching a woman. Oh, go ahead, Catherine.
I initially asked Catherine, "How should a guy approach you?" And then you answered, so I was like, "Oh, well, let's see how Jermaine approaches a woman." So, how would you go about approaching a woman as a man?
Me?
Yes,
I would just go up
continue.
and say, like,
Not
I was
me.
like, because I was like, I got cut off, bro. We started talking about transgender. Like, anyways, I would go up and say, like, hi. I would say, hi, my name is this. Can I buy you a drink? And that's that. Like, I would just go up and say my name, say what's up, like, what are you like? What are you celebrating? Or are you like hanging out with friends and just being like normal? Just like, hey, my name is this. What's your name? Can I buy you a drink?
You know what my favorite line is?
What?
I'm put you on game. Are you drinking for pleasure? Or are you drinking to forget?
I remember
Ask
you
that
telling me.
question because then it's
No,
about
no,
them.
Catherine.
You guys
Catherine's
are
like, "Damn,
trying. Yeah, this is. Oh, oh boy, we have a lot more work to do here than I thought.
No, that's good.
hey."
That's why you're a part of
And
the
this is why
Unscripted
we're asking
Podcast.
you the question, Catherine. How should a male approach you?
Okay, first we're gonna rewind back. I would like to answer that I just see people as people, and I feel like giving everybody a chance to like, I don't know. I really wouldn't want to put like boxes around people based on like gender or race or anything else. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted that to be on the record for the podcast. People are people.
People are people,
Yeah,
but you're allowed to have preferences. But
you certainly
continue.
are. But I don't, yeah. Uh, Continue. So, one of the nicest ways I've ever been approached, someone asked me, he was like, "Is it okay if I sit down next to you and like to talk with you?" And like gave me the opportunity because sometimes it can be so like you feel like you don't have an option to say no, or like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you're out and you just don't want to talk to someone, or you're having a bad day, or you're getting the wrong vibe from somebody. And so just getting asked if like, "Hey, is it okay if I sit down?" Or like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a few minutes? I'd like to get to know you." Just like starting off as a question, uh, and giving someone the opportunity to say yes or no, I think is really nice.
Now, I do think that it depends on the environment. I'm thinking more like a bar, it's like loud music, everyone's drinking, and that's where you ask that question. If you're going up, you're not going to ask the same question in like a Target. You're not going to be like in the checkout line, like, "Hey, you drinking that water for pleasure or for
That's true.
but no, I do think that that is fair. I do think that a lot of women feel like this weird, even though they're not obligated, it's like this weird obligation where you kind of feel like you're forced into having a
Mm-hmm.
conversation, doing something that you don't want to do. I've heard a lot of female friends mention that, where they just want to kind of get out the situation, but they don't really know how to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's valid. So Jermaine, she just gave you game for free.
She did give me
He,
game for free, and I appreciate that, honestly.
look at him
Because,
typing in his notes app right now. He's like,
yep.
hey.
No, it's true. That's like actually a genuine thing because as men, the only either our fathers, if our father is around, because the '90s was crazy, or we get it from TV, right? We don't like most men don't have female friends or female friends comfortable enough to be like, oh, this would be nice to say, because they could also have preconceived notions of what is the proper way to approach a woman, right? We see this all on TV since the '90s, right? Like, hey, can I buy you a drink? Or hey, my name is this, or a game. Like Hitch is a perfect example of this, and we all seen like the ups and downs of that situation. So I'm writing this down. I appreciate you, Captain, because I feel like it's just another way of like treat people like people, right? Like I
Well,
remember
that's
I went to a gay bar with some friends at in New
Wait,
York.
do you wanna keep this on or off the record?
No, let me be on record. I think it's
Okay.
interesting because it's like as a man, I know.
You know what? I'll give my gay bar story next
All right, and
to
that'd
round
be a
out the
way.
episode.
And so at the gay bar, I'm going with my female friends, right? They were like, they tricked me. They were like, oh, it's a gay bar, ha ha ha, right? And I'm getting hit on like bad, like the bartender's doing it. Like I felt like, have you ever seen How I Met Your Mother? Like when Ted and Marshall went to the gay bar, it was like that. But it was the opposite. They didn't buy me drinks. They asked me to buy them a drink. And I was like, bro, what? I was so blown because I was like he was like, oh hey sweetie, can you buy me a drink? I said, hold up. I thought I was supposed to be treated like a princess today. Not that media ruined this for me. And I was like, nah, bro, like I'm with my girlfriend right there. He was like, oh well, too bad. And looked me up and down, walked away. I was like, oh my god. But I did like talk to the bartender, like say like, hey, appreciate you, and he gave me a free shot. So I was like, oh, this is nice, whatever. But yeah, definitely like when you feel like if a guy ever feel like don't understand like what a woman's going through or whatever, don't if you're like like straight dude, right? If you don't know what a woman's going through, go to like see if your female friends or you have gay friends. Go to a gay bar, and you might feel you'll probably feel that situation where you don't know, like people just approaching you, you're confused, you're just like, oh god, what's happening? Because you're being placed in a situation you've never been in. So
Or
very humbling.
counter idea. I went to a lesbian bar not too long ago.
Ah,
And it was a gay bar, but it was catered more to women.
yeah.
I guess not necessarily lesbian, but just a gay women bar, gay female bar.
Hmm.
And I do know there are some straight women that go there to avoid being hit on by men because men are gross, as we've established earlier on in the episode. Um, so I went in there and they're just playing jams, playing music. I'm married, so I'm not looking for anybody, not doing anything. But let me tell you, I live my best life singing Taylor Swift at the top of my lungs without judgment because I felt like it was a safe space. Being able to rap Ice Spice, being able to sing Sarah Bareilles and Natasha Bedingfield, I feel the rain on your skin. I was like
Yeah.
jamming. I was having the best time of my life, and I said, you know what? I need to go back to that bar. So gay bars, that's where it's at. I'm not going to tell the other gay bar story because it's cringe, and Jermaine basically told it for me. But
Yes.
as we come to a conclusion this episode, I do want to ask you guys, what's one lasting thought you want to give to our listeners about dating nowadays?
Oh, you want to go first, Catherine? Or you want me to go first?
I'll jump in. One thought that I had left over from the video that you sent us earlier. It was really cool to see all the data laid out like that, but I was thinking that like dating apps are basically just dating in person, but on a larger scale. Like in their perspective, they were saying on a dating app, you flip through 100 profiles, whereas like if I go out, I might see like two people, so the dating app is just kind of a larger scale for what things are like. Um, yeah, I think that what I would take away from this episode is um, Yeah, you don't have to try so hard, I guess. You're just looking to make a genuine connection and to be happy. And if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But you don't need a pickup line or a playbook or anything like that.
Oh, damn it.
Hey, you
Yeah,
want to know good?
yeah.
Damn it.
You want a new pickup line I just thought of off the top of my head?
Oh boy.
So
What?
you bring a fishing line
Oh,
and you
God.
throw it at the table where the girl's sitting. And she's like, "What the heck is that?" I'm like, "Oh, this is my pickup line. Hey, my name's Jermaine." See,
Okay,
if you get her
wait.
laughing, you got her.
Okay, Jermaine,
Boom.
we need a test case where you go out and you try my method and Martin's and tell me, report back 2 weeks
All
from now.
right, we'll do. We'll do. That's really funny though. I think it's funny. Some people will be like, "What the fuck?" But so what I got out of this episode was like the genuine connection part Catherine mentioned, and also that like meet yourself where you are and know truly what you need right now. Don't look at like where you're at like age wise or what other people may think that you need to be like be honest with yourself and see where yourself's at and go from there. Because once you understand you and what your wants and needs are, then you can, truly put yourself out there in the situations that you will thrive in. So that's my takeaway.
We should
All
definitely
right.
make this a series. There's so much to say.
Oh
Yes,
yeah, this is
absolutely.
definitely going to be a series. I do want to have closing remarks of my own. I don't want to end on a pickup line, but that was the best pickup line I ever came up with, and
That
I'm
was
really
good
proud
off
of
the
it.
dome.
Off the top, man, I freestyle these things. Just like I'm about to freestyle this part. I don't know what I want to say about dating apps, but I do think that they're not healthy. I think that having millions and millions of people at your fingertips, and you judging them solely, almost solely based off looks and appearance, isn't really healthy. And I think that the video showed that like the top 10% gets most of the likes, and the bottom 90% get one, maybe two over time. I think that it's not a healthy way of looking at dating and society in general because everyone thinks that they're worthy of 10% just to get dogged by these guys who have a lot of likes and attention. They're like, oh, well, I just get through this one. Like, I don't need to think about it, work too hard to try to keep them in my lives. Not saying that all top tier guys are like this, but it's just a weird thing. Like, give a seven a chance. You don't have to give a five a chance. I'm not saying give a five a chance. Give a seven a chance. Don't always shoot for tens and be disappointed. Like also, and they're also people are human, like you said earlier. Talk to people, get to know them. Don't be so superficial, and you'll find that people have a lot more to offer than their appearance.
Awesome. And I love that. I love that we're going to continue the series. Um, yeah, send your comments, questions. We would love to hear you guys' views on dating. If you want to send us your dating experiences or how your views are about dating in 2023, where can they send us the information to?
Yeah, you can send us information at Unsolicited Counseling on YouTube and Instagram, Unsolicited Counseling Podcast on Facebook. And if you want to shoot us an email, you can find us at youadvicepodcast@gmail.com.
All right, guys. And as always, guys, we love you guys. We're here for you guys. One drink at a time, one
One
episode at a
drink at a
time.
time. There you go.
One episode at a time. Be easy, yo.
Latest. KO punching out.
KO punching out.